Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to stand before you today to talk about one of the most powerful forces in life. When we place our faith in God, we open ourselves to His limitless possibilities. We move beyond the confines of fear, doubt, and uncertainty and embrace a future filled with hope, purpose, and direction. God's presence in our lives gives us strength in times of weakness, comfort in moments of pain, and clarity when we are lost. Faith in God is transformative. It has the power to change not just your circumstances, but your very essence as a person. When you choose to trust in God, you choose to open your heart to a world of limitless possibilities. You choose to step into a new life where every challenge is an opportunity and every setback is a lesson. You see, faith isn't just about believing in something beyond ourselves. It's about believing that there is a purpose in everything that happens, and that God has a plan that is far greater than our own limited understanding. When you place your faith in God, something incredible begins to happen. It's as if a weight is lifted from your shoulders. The anxiety and fear that often plague us in uncertain times begin to fade. You begin to walk through life with a sense of peace, knowing that you are not alone, no matter what the world may throw at you. Even when the storm clouds gather, faith gives you the courage to keep going because you know deep within your heart that you are being carried by a force far more powerful than any of your fears or worries. There's an indescribable strength that comes with faith. It's not a strength you can find in physical power or in worldly achievements, but a deep inner strength that arises when you realize that God is your anchor. He gives you the strength to rise above the noise and distractions of life. You begin to understand that your true worth is not defined by your job, your possessions, or how others perceive you. Your worth comes from knowing that you are a child of God, created with a divine purpose. This realization alone can completely transform your life. Faith in God also opens the door to a new way of thinking. It shifts your perspective on life. Instead of focusing on what you don't have or what you can't do, faith helps you see what is possible. It helps you see the beauty in the struggle and the value in the journey. Faith gives you the clarity to understand that every obstacle you face is part of your personal growth, and that each experience, good or bad, is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Through faith, you begin to see people differently. You begin to see them through the eyes of love and understanding. Where there was once judgment, now there is compassion. Where there is bitterness, now there is forgiveness. Faith teaches you the power of letting go, of releasing the grudges and resentments that weigh you down. You realize that holding on to negativity only harms you, and that the true freedom comes from releasing it all into God's hands. Moreover, faith inspires you to live with purpose. When you trust in God's plan, you understand that your life is not a random series of events, but a carefully crafted journey. You realize that every moment is an opportunity to live with intention, to make a difference, to leave a legacy that reflects God's love and goodness. Faith fills you with a sense of urgency and passion to live out your calling, to make the world a better place in whatever way you can. But let me be clear, faith does not promise a life free from struggles. It does not promise that every day will be easy or that you will never face disappointment. What faith does promise is that you will have the strength to endure, the courage to continue, and the hope to keep moving forward. It promises that even in your darkest moments, you will never walk alone. God will be with you every step of the way, guiding you, comforting you, and empowering you to rise again. When you live with faith, you begin to see the world with a different set of eyes. You begin to see the beauty in the simple things, the joy in the small victories, and the blessings in every moment. You begin to realize that you have everything you need within you, and with God by your side, there is nothing you cannot overcome. So I urge you today, take that step of faith. Believe that there is more to life than what you see with your natural eyes. Trust that God has a plan for you. and that your life is about to be transformed in ways you cannot even imagine. This is the power of faith, and when you embrace it, your life will never be the same. In life, we all face moments of adversity, moments when the weight of the world seems too heavy to carry, and the road ahead feels impossible to navigate. But here's the truth. It is in those very moments that your faith in God can become your greatest strength. When everything around you is crumbling, when you feel as if you are at the end of your rope, it is then that you discover the unshakable power of God's presence in your life. It's in the darkest of times that faith shines the brightest, reminding you that no matter how deep the valley, God's love and strength are always there to guide you through. When we face adversity, it's easy to feel alone, abandoned, and defeated. The world can be overwhelming, and the challenges we face can feel like mountains too steep to climb. But here's where faith makes all the difference. It gives you the strength to stand tall when you want to fall. It lifts you up when the weight of your struggle seems unbearable. Faith doesn't just change your perspective, it empowers you to rise above the circumstances, to push through the pain, and to find purpose even in the midst of your difficulties. You are not defined by your struggles. You are defined by your ability to overcome them with God by your side. When we allow our faith to guide us through adversity, we discover a power within us that we never knew existed. It's a kind of strength that doesn't come from our own abilities, but from the divine power of God. It's the strength to face each day with courage, even when the road ahead is uncertain. It's the strength to keep moving forward, step by step, knowing that God is with you every step of the way. Even when you feel like giving up, faith whispers to your soul, reminding you that you are stronger than you think, that you are more capable than you believe, and that with God, all things are possible. You see, it's easy to be strong when everything is going well, but the true test of your strength comes when life throws its hardest punches. When adversity strikes, it reveals the depth of your faith and the strength of your character. It's in these moments that you are shaped, refined, and made stronger. When you lean on God in times of trouble, you tap into an infinite well of strength that transcends anything the world can offer. This is the power of faith. It doesn't promise an easy journey, but it promises that you will never have to walk it alone. With God's strength, you can endure. With God's strength, you can rise above the storm. In those moments of struggle, remember that your pain has a purpose. Every trial you face is an opportunity for growth. Every obstacle is a stepping stone towards becoming the person you were always meant to be. Faith allows you to see adversity not as a setback, but as a setup for a comeback. It transforms the way you view your struggles. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, you begin to see them as tools that refine your character, shape your resilience, and deepen your trust in God's plan for your life. This shift in perspective is life-changing. It allows you to approach adversity not with fear or defeat, but with hope, strength, and confidence. Faith in God doesn't take away the pain of adversity, but it gives you the strength to endure it. It doesn't make the road any easier, but it equips you with the courage and perseverance to walk it with grace. And here's the most beautiful part. Through adversity, you grow. You become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. You discover a new level of resilience and a deeper connection with your faith. You learn that you are capable of facing anything life throws at you, because with God by your side, nothing is impossible. When adversity comes knocking at your door, don't retreat in fear. Stand firm in your faith. Embrace the strength that comes from knowing that you are not alone. And remember, the very adversity that seems to be holding you back is the thing that is preparing you for something greater. Faith gives you the power to rise above it all and emerge victorious. Faith has the incredible ability to shift your perspective. It has the power to change the way you see not only the world around you, but also the circumstances you face, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. When you trust in God, when you truly place your faith in Him, everything changes. The difficulties you once viewed as insurmountable obstacles become stepping stones. The fears that once held you back from living the life you were meant to lead are replaced with courage and clarity. Faith opens your eyes to a new reality, a reality where anything is possible with God by your side. And now, they must face reality. Reality. The way we see the world is often clouded by our struggles, our doubts, and our limitations. We tend to view life through a lens of fear, scarcity, and uncertainty. But when you allow your faith to guide you, something extraordinary happens. You begin to see life not as a series of challenges, but as a beautiful journey. When every trial is an opportunity for growth, and every moment holds the potential for greatness. Faith removes the veil of negativity and self-doubt that cloud your vision and replaces it with a lens of hope, possibility, and divine purpose. Imagine for a moment that you are standing at the edge of a vast, unknown landscape. Before you, the terrain seems rugged, full of obstacles, and daunting. Without faith, it might feel like you are standing at the foot of an impossible mountain, unsure of how to move forward. But when you place your faith in God, you are given the vision to see that mountain not as a barrier, but as a challenge to conquer. A place where growth happens and where you will ultimately find your strength. Faith changes the way you look at the terrain. It gives you the eyes to see that every obstacle is not just something to fear, but something to overcome. It's all about perspective. When you allow faith to shift your perspective, the way you view challenges changes. Suddenly, you stop seeing the hardships in your life as burdens, but as opportunities for transformation. You begin to understand that the struggles you face are not there to break you. They are there to build you. With God guiding you, you learn that nothing in this life is wasted. Every setback, every heartache, every difficult season is shaping you into the person you are meant to be. You are not defined by the challenges you face, but by the way you rise above them. Faith also helps you see the potential in yourself. Too often we are our own biggest critics, measuring ourselves by standards that are unrealistic or unfair. But when you trust in God's plan for your life, you begin to see yourself through His eyes. You realize that you are more capable than you ever imagined. You are stronger than you think. Your value is not determined by your past mistakes or your perceived shortcomings, but by the divine potential that God has placed within you. Faith shifts your perspective on your own worth and helps you see the unique gifts and abilities that make you who you are. When you begin to look at life through the lens of faith, you start to see the beauty in the journey. You start to appreciate the small victories, the moments of grace, and the people who walk alongside you. You stop waiting for everything to be perfect and start embracing the imperfections. You understand that life is not about achieving an ideal or reaching a specific destination. It's about living with purpose and making the most of every moment, no matter what it brings. Faith teaches you that it's not the destination that matters, but the way you live along the way. When your perspective is shifted by faith, you no longer see life as something that is happening to you. Instead, you see it as something that is happening for you. Every experience, every person, and every event in your life has a purpose. When you open your heart to faith, you begin to see the divine hand of God at work in every aspect of your life. You begin to trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should, even when you don't understand the why. This trust, this faith, frees you from the burden of worry and doubt. It fills you with a sense of peace that surpasses all understanding. So let your faith shift your perspective. Let it open your eyes to a new reality, one filled with hope, purpose, and divine possibility. When you walk through life with faith, you will never see the world the same way again. And in doing so, you will unlock a new level of strength, resilience, and joy that you never thought possible. Summit. Faith has the incredible ability to change the heart. It's one of the most beautiful gifts that God gives us. When you allow faith to take root in your heart, it transforms you from the inside out. It softens the hard edges. It removes the bitterness, and it fills you with love, compassion, and grace. Faith changes not just the way you think, but the very essence of who you are. It rewires your heart, helping you see the world and people through the eyes of love. The heart is a powerful thing. It holds our deepest emotions, desires, and experiences. But often it can become hardened by life's challenges. We experience hurt, disappointment, and betrayal. And in those moments, our hearts can grow cold, guarded, and closed off. We start to protect ourselves by building walls, by holding on to past hurts, and by pushing others away. But when we invite faith into our lives, everything changes. Faith has the power to heal a broken heart, to soften the wounds, and to fill the emptiness with God's love. When you place your faith in God, you begin to understand that your worth is not determined by the mistakes of your past or the pain you've endured. You begin to see yourself as God sees you, a beloved child, worthy of love, compassion, and forgiveness. Faith allows you to release the shame and guilt that have weighed heavy on your heart. It reminds you that you're not defined by your past, but by the love and grace of God. This realization frees you from the chains of self-judgment and allows you to embrace your true identity. Faith also teaches you the power of forgiveness. It's so easy to hold on to grudges, to hold on to anger, and to let bitterness take root in your heart. But when you truly understand the depth of God's forgiveness toward you, it changes everything. It helps you see that holding on to resentment only harms you, that forgiveness is not for the other person, but for yourself. Through faith, you begin to release the bitterness, to forgive those who have wronged you, and to make space in your heart for healing and peace. Faith helps you understand that forgiving others is a reflection of the forgiveness you've received from God. It sets you free. As faith changes your heart, it also opens it up to love. Love becomes the foundation of everything you do. You start to see others with new eyes, eyes that see beyond their flaws and imperfections, eyes that see the beauty in their hearts. Faith allows you to love unconditionally, to give without expecting anything in return, and to serve others with a selfless heart. It teaches you that love is not just an emotion, but a choice, a commitment to treat others with kindness, respect, and compassion, no matter their actions. This love is not limited to those who are easy to love. Through faith, you begin to see the value in everyone, even those who may not treat you well or who may not share your beliefs. Faith teaches you to love your enemies, to pray for those who persecute you, and to extend grace to those who have hurt you. It's not easy, it's not always natural, but through the power of faith, it becomes possible. You begin to reflect the heart of God in everything you do, and that heart is one of boundless love and compassion. Faith also softens your heart toward the world. You begin to see the brokenness around you and feel the pain of others in a way you never did before. It compels you to act, to serve, to give, and to make a difference in the lives of those who are suffering. Faith opens your heart to the needs of the world, and it inspires you to do something about it. You no longer look at the world with indifference, but with a heart that desires to bring hope, healing, and restoration to a hurting world. As faith changes your heart, it also fills it with joy. True joy doesn't come from circumstances or possessions. It comes from knowing that you are loved by God, that He is with you in every season of life, and that His plans for you are good. This joy isn't fleeting. It's deep. It's lasting. And it doesn't depend on external circumstances. It comes from knowing that no matter what happens in life, you have the love of God in your heart, and that is enough. So let faith change your heart. Let it soften the hard places. Let it fill you with love, compassion, forgiveness, and joy. Let it transform you into the person you were always meant to be. When your heart is changed by faith, you will see the world differently, and the world will see the love of God in you. Faith brings purpose into your life like nothing else can. It is the foundation that grounds you, the driving force that pushes you to keep moving forward even when the road is uncertain. When you have faith, you begin to understand that your life is not random, that you were not put here by accident. You start to realize that there is a divine purpose for your existence, something greater than yourself that calls you to action, to serve, to make an impact, and to live with intention. When you embrace faith, your life takes on a whole new meaning. You stop wandering aimlessly, trying to find fulfillment in the wrong places, and you start to see the bigger picture. With faith, you discover that your experiences, your talents, and your struggles are all part of a beautiful plan designed to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. Faith helps you see that your life is not just about surviving, but about thriving, about living out the purpose you were created for. Faith gives you clarity. It gives you direction when you feel lost, and a sense of peace when everything feels chaotic. No matter how difficult life may become, faith reminds you that you have a reason for being here. It empowers you to step out of the shadows of doubt and walk in the light of purpose. You begin to understand that every moment, every breath, and every decision is part of a larger story, one that is filled with purpose and meaning. With faith, your heart and mind are filled with passion to live out your purpose every single day. It gives you the strength to overcome obstacles, to push through fear, and to embrace the challenges ahead. Faith transforms you into someone who no longer lives for themselves, but for a cause greater than their own. It is this sense of purpose that fuels you, keeps you moving, and reminds you that you are here for a reason, God's reason. Faith leads you to discover your divine potential. It is the key that unlocks the hidden strength within you, the power that lies dormant, waiting to be awakened. When you place your faith in God, you begin to realize that you are capable of so much more than you ever imagined. Faith opens the door to possibilities, to greatness, to the purpose that God has uniquely designed for you. You were created with a divine potential, and faith is the catalyst that brings that potential to life. Many of us walk through life unaware of the incredible power we hold within. We get caught up in self-doubt, fear, and insecurity, believing that we are not enough, that we don't have what it takes. But faith transforms that mindset. It shifts your perspective and reminds you that you are not limited by your circumstances, your past, or your doubts. With faith, you tap into a source of strength and wisdom that is greater than yourself. God's divine power working through you. This is the moment when you realize that the person you are today is only a glimpse of who you are meant to become. Faith helps you break free from the chains of limitations and allows you to step into your full potential. It encourages you to dream bigger, aim higher, and push further. Faith fills you with the courage to take bold steps, to face your fears head on, and to go after what seems impossible. It empowers you to pursue your goals with passion and determination, knowing that with God by your side, there is nothing you cannot overcome. When you truly believe in His plan for your life, you begin to understand that there is nothing in this world that can stop you from achieving the greatness that lies within you. With faith, you begin to tap into the divine potential that was always there, waiting to be realized. You become unstoppable, resilient, and filled with purpose. You start to see the power within yourself, a power that is aligned with God's will. And you move forward with confidence, knowing that your divine potential is limitless. Trusting in God is one of the most powerful decisions you will ever make. It's not always easy, and it's not always clear how things will unfold. But when you make the choice to trust in Him, you open your heart to a world of possibilities and peace that goes beyond human understanding. In a world that constantly tells us to rely on our own strength, our own plans, and our own abilities, trusting in God can feel like a leap of faith. But it is a leap that leads to freedom, security, and a deeper connection with the divine. God's plan for your life is far greater than anything you can imagine. And when you trust in Him, you allow His perfect plan to unfold in your life. The truth is, we can't see everything ahead of us. We don't know what tomorrow holds or how the future will turn out. But when you trust in God, you acknowledge that He does know. You surrender your worries, your fears, and your need for control, and you give them to a God who is bigger than anything you could ever face. This act of trust is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. A strength that comes from knowing that God is in control and that His ways are higher than our own. Trusting in God means that you choose faith over fear. When fear tries to take over your mind and heart, you counter it with the powerful truth that God is with you every step of the way. It means that even when life doesn't make sense, when things seem uncertain or difficult, you hold on to the truth that God is working everything together for your good. Trusting in Him is not about ignoring the challenges you face. It's about knowing that with God, you can face anything. It's about leaning on His strength when yours feels depleted and finding peace in His presence when everything around you feels chaotic. The beauty of trusting in God is that He is faithful. He doesn't break promises, and He never abandons His children. When you choose to trust in Him, you are placing your life in the hands of someone who loves you beyond measure, who knows you better than anyone else, and who desires to see you thrive. This trust brings peace into your life, even in the midst of storms. It's the kind of peace that doesn't come from circumstances, but from knowing that God is with you and that He will never leave you or forsake you. But trust is a choice. It's not always easy, and it's not always immediate. Sometimes the journey of trust feels long and uncertain. You may question God. You may wonder if He hears your prayers, and you may feel like you're walking through life with uncertainty. But remember, trust is not about having all the answers. It's about surrendering your life to the one who holds all the answers. It's about choosing to believe in His goodness, His timing, and His faithfulness, even when you can't see the way forward. Trusting in God means resting in His promises. It means holding on to His word, believing that He has a good plan for you, and knowing that He will guide you every step of the way. It's about finding comfort in His presence and confidence in His power. When you trust in God, you are not left to navigate life on your own. You are supported by a loving Father who knows exactly what you need and when you need it. His timing is perfect and His love is unchanging. In those moments when doubt creeps in, when fear tries to take hold, and when the road ahead seems unclear, remember this: God is faithful, and He is worthy of your trust. No matter where you are in life, no matter what you're facing, trust in God. He will never let you down. His love will guide you, His grace will sustain you, and His peace will fill your heart.